Hey folks, today is January 28, and as you can see right up there, right over here, over there, and even further down, I had placed some jigs that I made myself and others that I bought for air layering, and I did not really have much success last year at all. And one thing is, I did have one that had one simple long root with no fibers on it, and I took it off and it didn't really make it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is, I also have another one up there. I have several, like I keep finding more as I've made them. What I'm going to do is try to see if I go ahead and set up the air layer this time of year, if come spring it will have a better chance of rooting. So what I'm going to do is, this tall branch, I'm going to start from about there where it's a little greener still and more vital, and I'm going to set up the air layer there, and hopefully in a few months we'll see if I have success. And I would love for y'all to leave any comments if you have any insight, if you're good at air layering, and especially with Loquats, if you know what to do to get better success with them. So your advice would be helpful. And with that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up an air layer using this node over here. And I just like to use nodes. And this is the first time I used this grafting knife. I bought it off eBay, and I felt like it was too, getting my bearing here, so that it was too big, for small branches. So I figured it might be better to buy smaller knives, and I bought smaller knives, but this is a bigger branch, so I thought I'll use that. So what I'm doing is trying to get a cut, a nice incision around the ring, on the ring. Now this grafting knife, this side is flat and this side has a curve, so it's designed more for left-handed use or for cutting down or like that versus cutting like that. So these are some of the things to consider when purchasing a grafting knife. But it does a really good job cutting deep. Maybe I'm not cutting deep enough. Oh, I didn't want to cut that far down, but let's make sure I don't injure myself here. Yeah, the small razor-like knife seems to do a better job. It's a lot sharper than these cheap Chinese ones, but living out of two places at the moment, since I have an address in one city and then work in another, so I have another address, it is getting difficult to keep track of everything, and I can't really monitor all these cuttings. And yeah, this grafting knife, it's not that sharp, so then when it finally starts cutting, you end up cutting too far up or down, like you see here and on the back side. So anyway, it is, I guess what I can do, I'm going to remove that top leaf and this bottom leaf. It's interesting how this one didn't suffer and die like the ones over here when I was setting up the air layer. But I'm trying to make sure I cut deep enough, because my first time before I received any success air layering with the Loquat, I literally did not cut deep enough, and you have to cut deep, and I'm just gonna try to make sure I'm cutting deep. Okay. And also, I'm not too crazy about rooting hormone, because people say it helps speed up the process a little bit, but I really don't know how well it is. Some people, they say that the rooting gel is better, But either way, I'm going to put some on here just to be safe. I typically do, since Loquats are a lot harder to root. And you know, some people, if you ever watch other people on YouTube, they really put a lot of hormone on the stem, and others, you know, say you don't need to. And realistically, sometimes putting too much can overwhelm the cutting or the plant. So I'm not going to be using this air layering jig anymore because, well, technically I can, but it didn't really do too well with these things. So it did the first time I had success, and oh wow, it's grown over here so much that the bottom piece is stuck. So anyway, if I do this, it might... Oh, this thing broke there, so I may not at the moment, but I'm going to use a bag for the time being. So the first thing I want to do is take this grocery bag and cut the end off, because it tapers down. You know, ideally what I've noticed does really well is press and seal, but I don't have any on me at the moment. So now I have this, and I can literally skirt it off the top and bring it down if I wanted to. And I'm going to try that, but I have a lot of... This branch has grown so tall, I have a lot of limbs I need to... well, I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is take this, and just for a little extra thickness, fold it, and I still have a good amount. And I'm going to wrap the bottom part and make sure I have enough width there. Okay, I'm not going to fold it over. I'm going to do that. And then take some tape, and I'm just going to use some electrical tape. I have an old roll that is almost exhausted and it's decrepit, so why not use that and get it out of the way. So I'm just going to do it that way, not really wrap it tight, so I can have a region that I can fill up with the peat moss. I may invest in a roll or two of grafting tape sometime, I guess. So now I can take this, like that, and I have a container with peat moss, and I'm just going to dump some in here. Maybe I'll just dump the whole thing, just to ensure I have enough. And it's been sitting in a wet area, so as you can see, it has a lot, and I'm just going to, hopefully not lose anything, and make sure I'm getting all the way around, which I am. And there we go. Now I just will ball up the top side, and hopefully come spring, it's not the cleanest job, but it doesn't matter. Those crows are back. Ow. Okay, that didn't work very well. So now I have to start all over. Wonderful. I think I need to add more rooting compound. Let me just take that. I'm going to keep this tape somewhere where I can easily access. And add fresh compound. Just not putting too much, but a lot of it will go to waste, and I'm fine with that because I haven't had the best success with even while I use rooting compound with the Loquats, and still don't have the best success, which tells me it's not that effective compared to not. They say it speeds up the rooting, doesn't really stop the rooting, but either way, I'm not too happy. It might just be the brand I'm using, but still dropping a lot of this. I'll tell you, Present Seal works so much better. I wish I had some on me. But anyway, just try and make sure this goes all the way around the branch. And here we go. So now I have moist sphagnum moss surrounding a branch that I just cut and put some rooting compound or hormone, and see if come spring it will do a lot better if having prepared this over the winter. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I would value your advice on getting loquats to root via air layering, since this past year has been rough on my success rate. Thanks for watching and happy planting.